Yo friends, welcome to Next Level Consciousness with Linnea Stella. We are back for a very potent video. You don't want to miss this if you want to improve the quality of all your relationships now. That is needs in relationships, or how your personality needs affect your relationships. So if you haven't already, I recommend you also to see the video on personality needs so that you understand a little more what they are all about. I'm gonna link it down below in the description. So just a short recap to show you the importance of needs. Every action that you take is an attempt of your brain to meet a need. So the more you become aware of your needs, the more you can step in and co-create with your mind and make sure that your needs are met in a healthy way. Because your mind will always meet the need in the fastest way, and it doesn't care if that way is healthy or unhealthy. So let's say that you have a need for emotional connection, and the person that you're interested in, your love interest, they don't reply to your texts, but you feel such a strong urge to get this need met now that you go to their house or their workplace and you stalk them. That is not really a healthy way of getting the need met. There are healthy ways. Maybe you can talk to a friend about it. Maybe you can join like a yoga class or a ceremony or some place where you feel like you get this need for emotional connection met. Because it is never about a specific person. It is what needs they help you meet within yourself. And that is why there is so much power getting aware of your needs, because then you can create these healthy ways of meeting the needs. But more on that in the other video that I did, so you can go back and check it if you want to learn more about needs. It's super interesting how it works, because it's such a simple thing that makes a huge difference, and that's when something becomes a hack. And we love hacks to reach next level consciousness. And the thing with these needs that I talk about, they are called personality needs. They're not to confuse with your basic human needs such as food and shelter, is that they are often subconscious. So that is the first little tricky part, that you need to make the subconscious conscious. Your needs live in your subconscious mind, 95% of your mental power, and your wants live in your conscious mind. And the key to flow and alignment and fulfillment in life is to align your conscious wants with your subconscious needs. And the needs are gonna be there no matter what. You can't just snap your fingers and change them. So the trick to do this is not to think like, oh, but I want this, and hope that this bottom of the iceberg will change, because it won't. The trick is instead to make the subconscious conscious, and then to create strategies to meet your needs. What does this have to do with relationships? Well, relationships are two humans coming together with different needs. They each have a different set of needs. Okay, so maybe person A has a very strong need for emotional connection. Maybe person B has a less strong need for emotional connection, but they still love the other person. They are still compatible on in other areas and other ways. But if they don't become aware that they need emotional connection to a different intensity, to a different extent, that can lead to a lot of conflicts and clashes. Where this says, but you don't love me, you don't care about me. And this person say, yeah, I do. Because maybe for them, emotional connection is important as a 5 on a scale 1 to 10. But maybe for this person, emotional connection is important as a 10 on a scale 1 to 10. So you can see we have a clash here. But there is not necessarily a lack of compatibility. There's a lot of conflict if they don't know about it, and if they are going into shaming and blaming each other. But if they are aware of, okay, but we just have differing needs. Maybe for this person, blue, a much more important need is adventure and novelty. Maybe that is a 10 out of 10. While for this person, it's just a 3 out of 10. And they maybe have a huge need for safety. And this can look pretty hopeless, and you may think, oh, but they're just not compatible. Well, that's not necessarily the case, because when they both become aware of their needs, like what are my most important needs, how important are they on a scale of 1 to 10, and they both compare the needs, they can see like, but there are actually ways that we can meet each other halfway, which is called compromising. However, yes, it is true that there are also some non-negotiables, and then we come a little more into the nitty-gritty, into the details of relationships. But maybe this person has religion as a 10 out of 10, and they are very religious, and this person is an atheist, and they see it as a 0 out of 10. And so there are situations where, yes, the needs are just making the people too incompatible for each other. There are also many, many situations where there is a lot of arguments and conflicts in vain, where just getting aware of the needs can help the people to create healthy strategies for meeting the needs together. Because a relationship depends on a healthy exchange of needs. And the way I see it is that if this is the needs of person A, person red, and this is the needs of person blue, they want to weave a beautiful tapestry together like this, where they meet a couple of each other's needs, but they are not completely depending on each other. And what happens in many cases is that either we rely on our partner to meet all our needs. So you see, the beautiful tapestry becomes distorted. It's not so beautiful anymore because we have codependency. The two partners depend completely on each other to meet each other's needs, and that is just not sustainable for a relationship, and that creates a lot of resentment and disappointment. And we have the other extreme for people with more avoidant attachment style, who may think that, oh, but each partner in the relationship should meet their own needs to 100%. And I shouldn't need to meet any needs of this person. And if they ask for anything, they are too much. So that's a more avoidant style. Then we get into a state of hyper independence and the relationship dies. There is no relationship anymore. So that is also why needs are such an important tool in creating healthy and balanced relationships. Because then you can see, okay, these are a bunch of needs that are important to me to get met in a relationship. Well, these other bunch of needs, set of needs, I can meet for myself. They're not as important to me, get met in the relationships. Awareness really makes a huge difference, and awareness of how your needs differ. So let's say, for example, that person red has a huge need for safety and not a huge need for adventure, whereas person blue has a huge need for adventure and not for safety. Then the way that they can meet these needs is that either person blue goes out on adventures and person red stays at home safe, and they can come together in other needs that they share. Maybe they share a need for fitness. They like to go to the gym together. Or maybe they can go on a little adventure together with a degree of safety. So they're not going like several days into the wild with no compass, no food kind of thing. But maybe they go to the mountains and they stay at a comfortable glamping or mountain lodge, and they can go on little adventures that still satisfy person blue's needs for adventure, yet also satisfy person red's need for safety. Win-win. More often than not, there actually is a solution to make both people happy in the relationship, kissing each other, creating purple together. Okay, that's for later. And we're not creating that kind of videos here. And on the other hand, if you see that there is a complete incompatibility, maybe you want to reconsider the relationship, and it's better to discover that early on than to stay and try to change the other person or try to hold on to something that wouldn't work out anyhow. So when we talk about the power of needs in relationships, there are 4 steps to it. And those steps are 1, know your needs, 2, meet your own needs, 3, communicate your needs, and 4, receive your needs. So when we look at romantic relationships in particular, but really all kinds of relationships, those are the 4 parts that are the essential pillars of a healthy exchange of needs, but also the 4 parts where you can get tripped up. So if you feel like there is tension, if there is friction, if there is frequent conflict in the relationship, you can look at each of these parts. So step 1, first of all, knowing your needs, is nothing but this. Making the subconscious conscious. Becoming aware of what are actually my most important personality needs. Awareness is always the first step to change. And the second step may surprise some of you, because I told you that we want some of the needs to be met in the relationship. But start to meet your own needs for yourself. Why is this important? So that is just to ensure that you're not entering this distorted state of codependency and being, okay, I know that I need A, B, and C, and I want you to meet all those needs for me now, because that is too much pressure to put on another person. So start by meeting those needs to a certain extent for yourself, because the smart thing that will happen is that you will automatically, when you meet your own needs, create a subconscious comfort zone for receiving the needs from your partner, from the other person. And that ties into the last step. But meeting your own needs, creating strategies for meeting your own needs, you will already start to see like, oh, I feel so much more fulfilled in life. I don't feel codependent. I don't feel as needy. Because neediness really comes from having unmet needs that you expect someone else to meet, and you're often not aware of this whole thing. The third step is to communicate your needs to your partner. And this can also be a step that feels a little scary if you're not used to it. And if you have any sneaky core wounds hiding in your subconscious, they will surface. As, for example, oh, but I will be too much if I ask. I will be a burden. Maybe they will reject me, they will leave me, they will laugh at me, whatever. But remember that in a healthy and supportive relationship, it is completely normal to express your needs. It is just how you express them. Because what happens if you don't express your needs is that it will often come out in arguments. And it will come out in a less graceful way. And this is an interesting way in which our subconscious needs can be revealed. Because maybe you have a need for validation and you feel like my partner is never validating me, and then you yell at them. You get angry and you yell because at least you get the need met. You get the validation. They are actually listening to you. They stop and they listen to you. Maybe they even tell you, I can't talk to you when you yell like that, but you got that little validation. But you can see that that's maybe not the healthiest strategy to get the need met. You only get it met for a split second before your partner turns your back and said like, I can't talk to you right now, and you don't feel this deep fulfillment. A healthier way to get that need met would be like, okay, realize when you are calm and cool and balanced, I have a need for validation and I feel like it's not really met. Okay, how can I start to meet this need for validation for myself? Maybe I can sit in gratitude for myself, I can do a little meditation, connecting to my emotions, and then all of a sudden you feel more regulated, more balanced, and then you can communicate that need to your partner. Hey, when you are in a calm place, because it will land so much better, and they will be so much more receptive and actually listen to you. And you can say like, hey, I would really appreciate to feel a little more validated, and then be as detailed as possible when you express that, because maybe your partner's ID, person blue's idea of validation is different from person red's idea of validation. So that goes into communication also. Be as specific as possible. And that requires a lot of self-awareness. So not just, okay, I have a need of validation, but what does validation look like to me? And the last step is to receive your needs. And at the first glance, this may seem like something very simple. Like, well, if I have a need, I communicated it and I received it. It's like all good, right? But many of us have subconscious blocks or core wounds, limiting beliefs around receiving. That may tell us like, I am unworthy of receiving. I don't deserve receiving. So subconsciously, when we get the thing, maybe we asked for 10 minutes of quality time with our partner. When we get that, we feel like they're just doing it to please me. They don't actually want this. They think that I am asking too much and they will abandon me. So then when you actually receive the very thing that would fulfill your need, the core one sneaks in and says like, oh, this is dangerous, get out of here, and it blocks you from receiving, or it has you sabotage the receiving in some way, which will of course leave your partner confused and maybe a bit hurt because they tried to give you what you asked for and then you are pushing it away. So that is how the needs and the core wounds come together, and why it is so powerful to get conscious and get aware of A, what are my core wounds, and start to reprogram them. And you can watch my video on that, linked in the description below. And B, what are my personality needs and how can I start to meet them in a healthy way? If you have those two pillars down, you really have the foundation for healthy relationships and for a lot of fulfillment in life. Like, so many things in life will just fall into place when you have reprogrammed your core wounds and when you have become aware of your needs. And just a little caveat also, your needs can change over time. They will change over time, especially if you are into personal development, which I guess that you are if you are watching this video and this channel. So it can also be a good idea to make an inventory of your needs every 6 months or so, or if you have been through a huge transformative moment, a tower moment, and a lot has changed, and see, do I still have the same top needs as before? And I also have a powerful exercise in actually identifying your needs and creating strategies for meeting your needs, like how to do this on a more granular level so that I can do it right now. And if you want to know the exercise, I would love to film a video about it. Let me know in a comment in that case. So, thank you so much for watching this, and hit the like button if this video gave you any value at all, so that more humans can find it and can start to make peace with their needs. And subscribe for more videos on how to reach next level consciousness. And I'm sending you so much love. See you in the next vid. Getting aware, becoming aware of what actually are my, becoming aware of what, becoming aware of, men gud vad fan, becoming aware of